It's a boss. I mean, it's nice that it gets up there as well, but Castlevania's biggest flaw has to be the bosses. Hello people and welcome to Nico Evaluates Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. This brings me back. I used to borrow this game all the time from a friend across the street. Couldn't get enough of it. Never bought it myself. Had nightmares after I played it. It was worth it. One of my favorite NES games growing up. This one hits close to home. Gotta be critical about it though. Let's check what the story says. It's a nice rendition of the Pink Castle, as we all know it. What an intro. Really fantastic work. During 15th century Europe, there lived a person named Dracula. He practiced sorcery in order to create a bad world filled with evil. He began taking over the continent of Europe, changing countries from good to bad. The good people of Europe tried to fight off Dracula, but no one was able to survive. Finally, the Belmont family was summoned to battle Dracula's vile forces. The Belmont family has a long history of fighting evil. The townspeople became afraid of the Belmont's superhuman power and asked them to leave the country. Fortunately, the people found a mighty Belmont called Trevor. So it's not Simon anymore, it's Trevor Belmont now. The curse of Dracula has begun. The fate of Europe lies with Trevor. So what about finding body parts and putting them back together so that we can kill him? No, this is no Castlevania 2, I'll tell you that much. We are back to the old school Castlevania linear style, except this time we have branches of different levels we can choose. So practically you make your own adventure. So the game does have good replay value in that sense. What kinda saddens me though is the fact that we didn't get the sound chip in our games in the US or Europe. Only the Famicom version of Castlevania 3 had the sound chip that worked. So the Famicom version sounds a lot better. Here are some comparisons of what these sound like. Of course, music is always something that you can't really critique in an efficient way. Everyone has their own opinions, but I find that the Famicom version sounds a lot better. That's not to say that the US and PAL versions don't sound good. It's a pretty amazing soundtrack in itself. Especially the opening here, really good. Password and opening. Even if you're scrolling through the options, the intro still starts. What a persistent intro. Well, let's check it out. Even though Nintendo censored a lot of nudity and shit like that, some religious themes did get past the censor. So we're gonna see crosses and stuff like that in the game. They just didn't catch everything. Too late, Dr. Light. You're now in the game. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's such an iconic intro. I fucking remember that still. I'm playing in a dark room, just digesting the game, injecting the game into me. Listen to the fucking music. So fucking memorable. I'll try to be fair about it, even though this is one of the games from my childhood. Fucking love this game. I beat this game a handful of times, but it's been probably 20 years since the last time I actually beat the game, so that's gonna affect some things. I'm not gonna remember everything. So the reason the time is glitched is because I disabled the time again. Well, it's not disabled, but it shouldn't run out. So we can evaluate this correctly. Would hate to run out of time after explaining things to you. So what's the difference between Castlevania 1? You can no longer jump backwards, I don't think, at least. I can't pull that off anymore. Maybe it's possible. It's just that it's a lot more difficult, if not even impossible to do. That's something you have to remember. The sprite is back to the colorful one. If you look at Castlevania 2 and this, I think this is a nice improvement. Could be a bit more orange, but hey, looks a lot better now. Walking cycle. Still a bit janky, but I think it has improved a little bit. Still has that weird neck bending backwards, but I think we'll live with it. So as we go, I'll explain how the game works, but the same thing happens again. You upgrade your whip after just a couple of torches. That's your sub-weapon. That's hearts, and now they work as weapon energy again. None of that currency bullshit like in Castlevania 2. The stairs, they work the same way. Now you can hold down the button when you whip on the staircase as well. So now, already we have the upgraded whip. We haven't seen any enemies. We hit like, what, 3 or 4 torches, and now we have the fully upgraded whip. So the same criticism I had in the first game still stands here. Why the hell do you upgrade your whip? Or why is it even a thing if you do it after hitting just a few torches? It's a redundant way of upgrading your weapon. It just doesn't make any sense. Upgrading your weapon should be some kind of prize for either doing well or finding secrets or something like that. You don't just upgrade the weapon right off the bat. I mean, what's the purpose of it? But that's enough about that. Essentially, the first section here is just you get used to the controls, you get used to the game and everything it has to offer, and then after you fiddled about for a bit, then you get to meet some enemies after this door. You can see now that the time is now actually going down. Might have to move our ass. We do have a lot more time than usual. Again, my previous criticism about the time is still the same in this game as in Castlevania 1. Why would you have time if the game is all about strategic movement, carefully planned actions, and alike? Why would you have time? It just it baffles me. Why have time when the whole idea is to move carefully? That's a bet there. It's nice that it's easy to see. Sure, it's hidden. Now we can't walk back down again because the screen has moved. Isn't that strange? Once you move the screen up, you go back down, well, you just die. I don't know what kills you, but you do die. To nothing. The screen essentially kills you. So these are your basic enemies. Getting used to the mechanics gives you those normal skeletons and bats, which are fun to fight. Really, literally the bat just homes into your whip. Still got the same idea. Hit as many torches as you can. And that is the fully upgraded whip already. Case in point. It's nice to go upwards like this. Got the holy water, which in this game just does cause a fire. That should be a heart. So this game is probably 5 times more difficult than the first one, if not even more. That's a nice surprise. It introduces a skeleton that can jump. It's a really nice job of doing it. You can see it in time and get out of harm's way. It's a nice teaching element. And it's fun to try and dodge the bones. Just like the first game, the graphics are a bit scattered. But it does end up looking pretty good. Sometimes the hiding makes no sense, but I'll talk about it when I see it. Again, hitting walls could result in finding secrets. That one up there, not sure how to get that torch. I don't think I've ever gotten it. It's just probably a troll. If he had the axe, we could probably get it. But then how would you you could get hit by the skeleton and get some knockback into it, but I don't know. It's not enough. Good that you don't hit your head when you jump at the top, just like the first one. No new mistakes were done. And I like this platform, how it's introduced. You can play with it, it's free to play with. You can test and see what it does. So walking on it, it doesn't trip, but as you jump on it, you fall through. I don't think you can jump and avoid it. I don't think that's a possibility. Let's see if that's the case. Look at that. If you're right in the middle of the platform, it doesn't activate. I've never known that. But it makes sense, right? It doesn't tip over if you're in the middle. I had no idea. Like, holy shit. That's really amazing. Like, how many of you knew that? You have to be pixel perfect. Look at that. That's very interesting. Yeah, I don't think you can... No, you can't save yourself. You're gone. Well, that was a surprise. Medusa head just coming in. Again, if you stop and crouch... Well, you're fucked in this game. Doesn't work like that anymore. They probably noticed their mistake on the first game. Maybe it works in some places, just here it doesn't. If you're in the center of the screen, it does not work, you have to jump. But again, the same rules apply, just watch the pattern and react accordingly, don't just rush in. That's my tip to you. If you know that they keep coming, just stop for a while and then move after. Like that. I still think the Medusa heads are fun, even though... I still think the Medusa heads are fun, even though a lot of people hate them, but... It's a hate-to-love relationship, I guess. They can be annoying like that. Oh my god. Get hit by them like that, then you drop down the platform and... It's just a chain reaction at that point. Okay, we got the... Time stopper. That's a bit annoying. Got a dead end at the bottom. But then the top kinda clued you in. It looks more difficult. So you should probably go there instead. But I like the return to form with this game. They forgot all about Castlevania 2 and just went back to the basics. Even though I would recommend Symphony of the Night on PlayStation. That's how they should have done Castlevania 2 from the fucking get-go. I'm probably not gonna evaluate it. It's such a big game, but I would give it a thumbs up anyway. Definitely play that game. My recommendation. Your basic zombies. And if you don't want a weapon, just wait for a while. So the way this game works is you beat a stage and after that you can get a chance to select your path. And by doing that you can unlock more characters and you can play as them by hitting the select button. So on a normal playthrough you're not gonna see all of the levels. You're gonna have to play the game again to see all of them. Got the hunchbacks again. And lure it there and then kill it. That's a nice one. There's your turkey. Love the hunchbacks as well. To my recollection, they're pretty similar to the first game. if not like identical. The sprite is probably cleared up a bit, I think. Other than that, it's pretty much the same enemy. The way the Castlevania games mix the enemies with other enemies is just usually really well done. Got these fellows again. Overall, just there's not a lot of bad things to say about this game, so we're gonna breeze through the game, but at the same time critique anything we can find that's questionable. I like that effect. Oh boy, that's my bad. Just sometimes you need quick reactions. Oh no, like that. I didn't really want to pick that up, but well, now we have it. Might as well use it sometimes. You don't need that much ammunition for the boss, so it's better to use your ammo in the stage as well, not just save it. So this is what I like about this. The boss is down there, and you probably wouldn't know that's the boss. You just walk over it, and then it becomes alive. It's really a nice way of introducing a boss. I always like this part. The first time I ever got here as a kid, I got scared as fuck, because I didn't know what the fuck. I just walked through him and then realized, oh, it's a fucking boss. Probably got a heart attack. It's a boss. I mean, it's nice that it gets up there as well, but Castlevania's biggest flaw has to be the bosses. Not the game's strong suit. The bosses are really usually just poorly done. It almost always becomes a mash fest. Usually you just mash your way through the boss. Not really a good way to design things. Patterns and a learning curve would be better. But that's what we got. It's Castlevania. Just have to get used to it. Hitbox again, not perfect. It's Castlevania after all. But the atmosphere just nails it. I like it for that reason. Listen to that fucking dead. Sounds like something that would die in Doom. Get your orb, get your health back. Really nice explosion. Love that effect. We should beat another stage. Effectively, in both cases, Castlevania 1 and Castlevania 3, the score is only there to give you points based on how quickly you beat the stage. That's pretty much the only reason the points are there. So you can't leave, can't say no to the game. You have to choose. We're gonna come back to these. We're going to evaluate every stage anyway, so it doesn't really matter where we go now. Let's just go here. The cogs. I do have something to say about this. First of all, graphics look really nice, just not a big fan of the green. Doesn't quite fit the overall aesthetics. But it's nice how it starts slowly again, with that skeleton trying to find yourself and your place in the Castlevania world. Gives you a nice breather every now and then. That's a knight that does pretty much nothing. Yep, just walks around. Just a different sprite, basically on a zombie enemy. Just goes back and forth. Why use the staircase? We can just jump around. Oh, fuck. I shouldn't have jumped there. Can't help myself, it's so much fun. Better walk through this. So, you can indeed walk on these cogs. And now we made a mistake. That really sucks. Oh my god, I'm stuck somehow. Oh, cog smoke. So now we can't go back down. We just missed the secret. Even if you're curious enough to go and see what's in there, you really have to do this correctly. Jump through that instead. There we go. So this is your introduction to the cogs. Just walk against the teeth. That way you don't drop down. It's really just... It's a hard thing to code and make. Because you're really not gonna know when you're gonna drop off of it. But I guess when the straight part starts, that's when you drop down. Yep, so just watch for those. You're gonna have to use those cogs later in the level. So better practice in here. Again, another reason why putting time in your game is just fucking stupid. Oh my god, I keep trying to whip down and I go down the stairs. Luckily you don't hit your head on the blocks. That jump would have been ridiculous. Just overall, very good music in the game. Just one of the best on the NES. And you don't have to throw holy water to find trick blocks. Ain't that a blessing? The game will ramp up in difficulty quite fast. Right now this is pretty much a cakewalk. I think you get... No, you can jump through that. That's good. Oh well, depends how you look at it. Would be nice to get bumped by that accidentally, I suppose. And it's nice that it doesn't drag you. You pretty much you stay still. I think it tracks you a little bit. Maybe my eyes are deceiving me, but still, a good job. It's really fun to see what the NES can do. I love these transitions. And everything becomes alive. Once you enter this room, the background starts moving. Every detail, you're just looking at it. Then you see the skeleton up there, you're like, oh shit. It begins. That's a very nice introduction to the enemy. You can see it already. You can see the skeleton doing its thing. So you can prepare for the fight. It's a really nice way to pace it. This one always bothered me. It's clearly turning, but you don't get tracked by it. I don't know why. This platform should not turn if it doesn't affect your momentum at all. So now, 1, 2. I guess that skeleton could take like 3 hits. It's a bit too easy. But it's a fun enemy regardless. And it doesn't pop up too easily, like respawn. Well, there you go, Medusa heads. Now you really have to think. If you get hit on the stairs, you don't get knocked back. So that's your safety measure if you wanna take it. I don't think I want that. Just take your time. Unless you're afraid of running out of time. In which case you should hurry up. This is where the Medusa heads can become a problem. But just go back and move up and down the stairs. It's really, there's no bad placements yet, it's all alright. You can't avoid the Medusa heads anymore if you're in the middle of the screen. But here it works out, but if you're here, you are gonna get hit. Because it just depends where you are on the screen at that point. But just take it carefully. Once you reach the other edge, they'll swap the side of the screen where they spawn from. Just very well paced, I love that. It's very well done. And if you wanna kill yourself here, that's a possibility. I don't know why you would do that. For curiosity's sake. I like how the cog is missing the teeth before you transition in. So now it's turning the other way around. That's not something I would expect. The heart drops through the cog. So if you wanna get it, you have to be right on it. This is one of the most hated jumps in the entire fucking game. This one right here. It really sucks. If you're too late, you'll get killed. But it looks more difficult than it is. Look how much time you actually have. You can be pretty much at the edge, and you'll be fine. But this jump always scared me. Anyway, it's because of these 2 tiles here. Because you can't hit the edge of the tiles, so that's why you get stuck into them. But you can jump through them from below. That's one of the bigger reasons why this jump is so... Oh shit, I didn't want that. That's one of the reasons why the jump is so aggravating. Here, the Medusa heads spawn a bit too fast. Once you come into the screen, they're already coming. Just something you have to keep in mind. Luckily you're on the stairs, so not really, it's not gonna kill you unless you have 1 HP left. And just like in Castlevania 1, in this game, the further you get, the more damage you'll take. So just keep that in mind. And the edge of these stairs, I believe, will act as a platform. That's not the case. Well, ought to be careful after finding that out. Ooh, so close. Tried to get the heart with 42 hearts. I don't think I even need it. You should just really use your weapons if you need to. Just don't really have to save them. At least not this early in the game. Just carefully and calmly watch where the Medusa heads go. It's not a big problem. Another one of these, you know how they work by now. You can just throw the daggers into him. That way you don't really have to fight him either. Oh, they're weaker as the whip. That makes sense. That's a good thing. You don't have to fight it. Takes damage. Well, good. Here's your second boss. Some kind of a monkey man. The unlockable character in this game, Grant. In the Famicom version, he actually throws daggers, but in the other versions, he just uses it as a melee weapon. Again, not a big fan of this boss. It just always almost ends up being a damage race. And in here, you can just stay here. I don't think he ever comes in this position. No, I don't think so. No. Well, you run the risk of running out of time if you do that, but that's your safe spot. Unless he throws the dagger, but then you can just jump over it. But usually you shouldn't have to do that. No matter what you do, you get just damage boosted. Just killing him that way. It's really not a big deal. The bosses really aren't that great in the game. Just like in the first one and the second one, the bosses in Castlevania games just aren't the... they're just the weakness. Well, if you agreed on what I said, leave a like. If you disagreed, leave a dislike. And here is where we meet Grant, and then...
My name is Grant. I dreamed I was turned into a ghost. Please take me with you. My family was killed by Dracula. What will you do?
Take him with you, leave him behind. Sure, let's take him with us.
I can help you a lot, because I'm very fast.
He should have told us that before we made the decision. But no, he tells us after what he can do. What a fucking dumbass. Well, catch you next time. The cute couple. Thanks for watching another Nico Evaluates. Join us in Discord to talk about Mega Man, White Bread, and the neighbor's dog. Impact the show in my Patreon, or just throw a few bucks if you wanna buy me coffee. Check our merch at teespring.com/store/Snupster and get my quotes on your shirt. If you want to see weekly Mega Man races, go ahead and subscribe to Snupster. Catch you on the next one.